So I will speak briefly on what I think really is the hallmark of a Yale education, and the alums amongst you will tell you that each of their residential colleges is the best one ever. And if you gave them a polygraph test, they would pass it with flying colors. So the way that the undergraduate experience works at Yale is that all of the 5,300 undergraduate students who are the center of the campus, both physically and philosophically, they're the largest community on campus. There are only 6,000 graduate students spread out among the 13 graduate professional schools. So they're the largest community. Each of those 5,300 students will be assigned to one of 12 residential colleges. And each residential college is a microcosm of the community as a whole. It's meant to be a representative sample of the student body. So there are no colleges based on academic interest, on international background, on athletic sort of teams, organizations, or clubs. They're going to have a very broad range of students of all different types and stripes cohabitating in intimate quarters. So the residential colleges each have their own library, dining hall, athletic facilities, snack bars where you can get, they call it the butteries, where you can get 50-cent cheeseburgers at all hours of the night. They all have courtyards and amazing space. They have faculty who live there amongst undergraduate students called masters and deans. And they live with their families in the college, often taking their meals to the dining halls, going to undergraduate events that include theater performances and a cappella performances, athletic contributions. But the master, who is the prominent, the sort of primary figure of the college, also hosts what are called master's teas. And these teas are where we invite prominent individuals from all different walks of life and backgrounds to really enter the master's home and in their living room do a presentation, provide a presentation where they can speak to their experiences and also answer questions from students in a very casual setting. So they're great ways to give you a sense of who have come through recently. We've had the likes of Denzel Washington and Jason Alexander from Seinfeld and a number of other really interesting and quirky folks. So the residential colleges become both a home away from home and a sense of identity. You affiliate very strongly with them because you're assigned to them even before you arrive on campus. And from the day you set foot, you will eternally be sort of really bonded with your classmates and make the most of that experience. So the colleges are about 400 to 500 students each. And because faculty live there, you get to know faculty very well in the casual setting. You get to know your closest classmates and students across all age groups well. We have freshman counselors who live with first-year students. We also have fellows who are affiliated with the college. So the number of resources and support systems at Yale are extensive. It really is a place that is incredibly dynamic and committed to the welfare and the livelihood of undergraduate students. Students are at the core. They drive the experience. If you ask any graduate student, they will certainly tell you that. Make no qualms about it. Yaleys are known for working very hard and for being very bright, but they're also known for playing hard and having good fun as well. So with respect to extracurriculars, or co-curriculars if you want to think of them as such, there are over 350 student organizations. You can get involved with everything from participating in about 1,000 music performances, 100 theater productions, a number of a cappella groups, debate societies, etc. So I'll leave it to Moshe to really paint a more sort of comprehensive picture of the dynamic student life. And I know that he'll do that quite effectively. I want to talk lastly, before opening the floor to your questions, about admission and financial aid. And I think that with respect to financial aid, I'm glad that it was noted that Yale is need blind and need based. And I think to elaborate on that a little bit, you should know that there are less than 2 handfuls of schools in the United States that are able to be need blind in admission and need based in financial aid, which is to say that all students who are admitted can be assured that they're going to get 100% of their family's demonstrated need met. Now, to give you some numbers to quantify this so that you can see a good illustration of our commitment, Yale's annual budget this year for financial aid is $110 million. In the freshman class that just entered, of the 1,350 students who are in the freshman class, more than 750 of them come from families who paid nothing at all toward their child's education. Okay, so that's more than 50%. We do not package students with any loans. All of the money that is awarded to students is based on need and will not include debt of any type. Families who come from, students who come from families that make $60,000 a year or less in the US will pay nothing at all. Any student who works on campus, regardless of experience, starts off basically at $11.50 an hour, and so they don't need to work more than 7 or 8 hours a week to meet their student contribution. So with respect to financial aid, you're not going to find any institution more generous than Yale. And while some, as I said, less than 2 handfuls, have really joined this sort of need blind, need admission commitment, Yale was in fact the first place to do this almost 4 decades ago. And so that's a significant commitment and demonstration of leadership in terms of championing the cause of socioeconomic diversity on our campus. With respect to admission, we are an environment that does subscribe to the Common Application. We have our own supplement. There's certainly critical components of both of those, essays not being the least of them. Because we get so many more talented and capable students than we have spaces in the class, we pay particular attention not only to academic credentials and qualifications, but also to personal qualities and to the students' abilities to contribute to the life of the school and to really take advantage of the amazing resources that we have on offer. And one of the ways that we're able to gauge that is by reading your essays, which are in your own voice, in your own words, and sharing information that you want the reader and the committee to be aware of, and reading the interviews, which are also a part of the process. And so we try to have every applicant interview with an alum, and that write-up, the evaluation of that interview will become a formal part of the record. We'll consider it alongside all the other pieces of the puzzle. I know that one of the challenges for Israeli students is often getting teacher recommendations because of their required military service. So I think it's important to note here that the best advocates for you are the best people to write on your behalf, whether they're former teachers or former commanding officers or principals or other individuals who know you in an academic capacity as well as in a social capacity. Their advocacy is going to matter a good deal. And so we're going to pay certainly close attention to that information as well. With respect to standardized testing, we require the SAT 1 and 2 SAT 2s or the ACT with writing. If you do the SATs, we want to see all of the results. The TOEFL is highly recommended for students for whom English is not their first language. If you've done your studies, particularly in Hebrew primarily, you'll certainly want to take the TOEFL and submit that for our consideration. But with respect to the SAT subject test, you're not applying to the Department of Engineering or the Department of Economics or Nursing or any other area. You would be applying to Yale College as a whole, and so you have the freedom to pick which department you're applying to, or you would rather to apply to the college as a whole. So you don't need to specify the SAT subject test. You can take whichever ones you're most comfortable with. So